Welcome to Sex and Soul, a podcast about all things related to sexuality, relationships, and the deeper dimensions of our lives. I am your host, Lynn S. I am a sexuality and relationship coach and mentor, as well as a tantric yoga teacher. I'm so excited that you are here. May Sex and Soul light you up from inside and change your life to be more orgasmic, joyful, and deep. Hey, my sweet darlings, welcome to another episode of Sex and Soul. Today I'm going to speak about a topic that is, important and sensitive, as many of the topics, of course, that I'm addressing in my work, because I, deal with the most taboo stuff, I think. Well, sex, and then I'm not talking about money, which is another big taboo topic. Today I'm going to speak about mothering and especially how, this dynamic in many relationships, also in myself, I'm not better than you. I mean, I'm a professional and I study and I'm very focused on self-growth and my own evolution and all of that. So of course there's progress in my own life. And at the same time, of course, I'm discussing things that I know myself in my own life. Hope that you can feel that. So I'm not coming from this place of superiority. I'm coming from a place of my intention as my work, from my work, of course, helping us to grow, to evolve, to become better at loving ourselves and loving one another. And today is about relationships and about this dynamic of women mothering, emasculating their men. And of course, that takes two. Dynamics are always relationships, situations are always, involve two people. So it's not like all women, are to blame. No, it's not about blaming. It's about uncovering certain dynamics, hidden things that are happening in your relationship, in our relationships, and that as we discuss them, as we shed light on them, they can be transformed, they can be loved. So it's kind of loving yourself out of certain dynamics that are maybe just not healthy or don't feel good. Healthy is maybe not the word to use. It's just like when you're honest, you don't want to be mothering your partner. You don't want to also, as a man, assuming that maybe, hopefully, you're also ready to not be mothered, because that's also a thing. Of course, men accepting that somehow and being comfortable in that position of being a little bit a boy in a relationship sometimes. So it's all of us, we're maturing. We're maturing beyond certain dynamics, and that's what I stand for. That's what my work is all about. And so if you're listening as a man or if you're listening to this and you're in a same gender relationship, please just apply what you hear to your situation when things apply. And if they do not apply, that's all the better. Tant mieux, as we say in French. Just take what applies to you. So let's dive in. Let's discuss ways that women can be mothering men, emasculating their men, controlling. These are all things that are kind of same. Unconsciously disrespecting, your man, your partner. So I'm going to just kind of list things and just let that, awaken what it needs to awaken inside of yourself. And again, you might be doing this as a man in your relationship. You might be doing the male version of that to your woman. So listen and, hold yourself through this. So one of the ways that women are mothering and emasculating is in conversation with friends, you're not letting him finish his sentences. You actually never or not always hear him out. You have already made up your mind about him and his opinion. So you have this idée fixe, this idea, this lens. And we all do that, all of us. We have a lens through which we look at our partner and we think, oh, he or she is like that. That's what his opinion is about these things. And so because you think you already know what they're going to say, you're not even listening. You're not listening to what they have to say. You don't hear them out. And that's a way of disrespecting your partner, of course. Making fun of him with friends can be while he's there, can be behind his back somehow. And of course, there's all of these nuances. Yeah, it's not never black or white. And we, of course, need our girlfriends to discuss and to vent and all of these things. And that's all okay. I think you can understand and feel into when it's making fun and when it's really just digesting certain things with friends. Yeah. When he speaks to you, number 3, you constantly correct him, trying to tell him what to do or give him advice instead of simply listening and asking questions. This is a big one. I have been guilty of that, really thinking that you know better, and this controlling and this mothering. This is when your man becomes a little boy, when you tell him what to do, when you give him advice. And one of the things that men really don't like is unsolicited advice. Unsolicited help is not welcome. It's different for men than it is for women, even though that might be, you might experience that as not being the case. So whenever you're giving him unsolicited advice or help, you give him a message that he's not doing it well, that you do not trust him. This is what men crave for the most, is to feel that we trust them. Your man wants you to trust him, wants to feel that you find him trustworthy, that you feel that he's, doing it well. Let's say men are motivated by achieving goals and feeling that they are needed. I think a lot of men feel that they're not needed somehow because, a lot of us women, we are independent, we make our own money, we are, emancipated and evolved and all of that. And that can have like this kind of, effect of mothering also. And this impact of, men or your man not feeling that, you really actually need him. So and that can show up in subtle ways. So, listen and feel like the subtle ways that you might be doing this. Men score, one of the core wounds of many men is feeling that they're not enough. Yeah, this is what a lot of men, the message they have received throughout their lives in different ways in society. And so this definitely is triggered, when we as women are mothering them and are giving them advice and are telling them what to do. So what can you do instead is just simply asking questions, listening. Yeah, that's curiosity. That's in all situations. Also, of course, as a man towards your woman, this is such a gift to give you to your partner, this curiosity. And so that means that as a woman, you really need to kind of fight that impulse to control, fight that impulse, that things that you know best, fight that impulse to start, correcting him and telling him what to do. Like really shift that. That's your responsibility, to take a breath and to not go there. Just stop doing that. Okay, and then he will feel more trusted, he will feel more honored, he will feel more respected as your partner. Okay, so, and then another one is when he suggests something, you put him down, you attack him because you don't feel hurt by his suggestion. So you're not actually valuing his effort. And I recognize this one too. I remember with my previous partner, I really had this idea of how he needed to respond to me when I was feeling, strong emotions, which of course as women we do. Our pain of women, our core wounds, is feeling like we are too much, our too muchness. And that's a message we have received because especially our fathers have not received our emotions when we were little girls, etc. Yeah, so we have received that message. That's one of our core wounds, the too muchness. I'll come back to that later. It's also why we are actually mothering and controlling. There's a connection. I will speak on that in a little bit. So we have this idea of like, or I used to have this idea of like, oh, this is how I want to be received. I had these literal, phrases that I wanted my partner to say. And when he didn't say those, I couldn't receive actually his love and his effort. And I think this is very important. Like, value the effort that he's doing, value the way that your partner is showing up, Don't attack him because he doesn't offer the exact words that you want to hear. Really receive his attention and his love. It's a difficult one, yeah? It's really something to shift inside of yourself as a woman, as a partner. So, yeah, think about that. Another one, when he's speaking, you make everything about yourself. You make, you find a way to feel attacked by what he's saying. Oftentimes we do that. We tend to be self-centered sometimes. Yeah. And we tend to, think that things and the world revolves around us, and that people, when they're having also certain emotions and impacts and just reactions, we think it's about us, but oftentimes it's actually not really about us. It's not about you, it's about them, it's about him. So again, this curiosity really helps. This asking questions really, really, really helps. You'd constantly tell him he's too slow in what he does, in planning. So even when he takes the lead, you'd say that he's not doing it well. Again, same thing. He's not doing it well. He's not good enough. You take care of things for him because you don't trust him. Yeah. And your fast pace never leaves space for his spark to ignite, or for him to come up with initiative and plan things and do things on his side. So this is a big one. I recognize this from my mother also, we being so fast in whatever household things, whatever it is. And so what is important and how to shift that is to let him do things his way and his time. And of course, on his time, And of course, as a man, there's an important thing to mention here. It's never one-sided. Of course, it's also, men, we trust you when you honor your word, when you do the things that you're going to say you're going to do. And so if you're not doing that, then of course that brings erosion to the trust of your woman. So if your man is not honoring his word, then of course that has an impact. And so that's one of the reasons. I mean, there's reasons why women are mothering. Yeah, I'll come to that in a bit also more. Why are we controlling? Why are we emasculating? Because there has been proof that we cannot trust. There has been proof and situations where the safety and the trust, well, there was disappointment basically. Yeah. And so that disappointment was not addressed, was not acknowledged, not by the man. As a man, you can say, hey, I fucked up. I know I said I was going to do this today. I didn't do it. I'm sorry, and honoring that. But if you do not do that, if you do not name that, then it just goes into a bucket of, oh, I cannot trust him. Oh, and all of this stuff can be unconscious, subconscious. Yeah. So there's really ways to shift this. Yeah. I'm speaking on the thing, and I'm also offering some solutions. You don't ask for his support or his opinion. Big one, it's related to a need that men have to feel needed. Yeah, they need to feel needed. So ask him, what do you think I should do? What do you think I should do? And then when you ask his opinion or his support, follow that, honor it. Don't then change your mind. Like, trust your man. Again, it's so much about his trust, about trusting his wisdom, about trusting, what he says about these things. And so that's a very beautiful way that you can also ignite polarity, what people call polarity, which is a certain masculine alpha leadership. Yeah, there's the alpha and the omega, the masculine and the feminine. We all have both energies inside of ourselves. And so we can, in our relationship, be in opposite polarities. So as a woman, you can be very much in the alpha, in the masculine, in the yang. And as a man, when you become a little boy, that's what happens, is you go into this collapsed kind of, little boy, or more feminine or more yin. Yeah, you're becoming passive, and this is part of this episode, is talking about how to shift those dynamics. Yeah. And so how can you inspire as a woman, your man, to step into his alpha, to take more, the lead in the relationship, is stop mothering and asking him for his opinion, asking him for his support. There's other ways to do that. I will get to that in a bit. Another one is you make yourself seem better than him. This comes also after, some time of being in these mothering dynamics, of maybe as a woman feeling that you're emotionally doing more emotional labor, which might be the case, which often is the case. And that can also lead to resentment. All the things that I'm talking about, the solution so much is about having conversations and sharing about these things and really becoming a practitioner of truth speaking, microscopic rather truths. Like you say, you speak these things, you speak the things that you're saying. And as soon as you do, you can actually, they don't stay in the shadow. They don't stay as accumulated frustrations. So that's important. Yeah. You make yourself seem better than him. You think, it's related to previous things, of course, the superiority. There's no love when you put yourself in a either superior or inferior position towards someone else. Love cannot exist on this you cannot love someone from down up or from up down. Yeah, you cannot love them. You need to be on the same level. You need to be equals for love to exist. And that relates to gossiping, indeed, as I said, to your girlfriends, instead of talking directly to him about issues and your feelings. You keep your man out of your heart because you assume that he cannot deal with it anyways. You have this assumption, oh, he doesn't get it. He doesn't understand my emotions. Like you put them in that position of, oh, he cannot deal. He's, a little boy somehow. Yeah, you're not saying that literally, but that's kind of the position you put him in. Criticizing, another way. So belittling his vocation, really, like feeling that the job he's doing is not good enough. And that might be true, yeah. So one important thing is, like, in this mothering and this controlling behavior, there's a shadow, there's a response, or we do that because there's pain underneath that. But also at the same time, when we're complaining, there is also a request for greatness. There's something inside of you that knows that your partner can do better, could be better, do better. Like you see in your mind, this is what the gift that we have is, we can see the potential of our partner. We can see their best version, and we can actually use that lens to look at them in that way. And instead of course, belittling them or complaining or telling them in different ways they're not good enough, we can actually speak them into their greatness. Yeah. And that's a shift in your dynamic. Instead of saying, oh, you're not good enough, pointing the finger, is like, how can you use your words and your love to actually invite them into their own greatness? And that can be relating to his job or their job, but that can also, be in all the different ways in how he or she shows up. Not complaining, turning a complaint into a request, and speaking in a way that you actually tell them, hey, this is what I see. This is the power that I see in you. These are the capacities and qualities that I see in you. And so I'm just saying this because I think I love you. And I think, there is more for you. And I love you. And I love you as you are right now. I love you exactly, in the job you're doing right now. So that's important, loving them as they are right now. And at the same time, you express that you support them in whatever, more they could become. And this is like, the lens through which you're looking at your partner is a big thing. Like, what stories do you have on him? Again, these assumptions that you have. Do you have this assumption that he's not good enough, he's going to fuck up, he's living below his potential or whatever? It can be subconscious, all of this. And so what if, you can change your lens? And knowing that when you change the lens through which you look at the outside world, it goes for your partner, it goes for everything. Your lens, our filter, defines how we see the world. And also, when we change the filter, the lens through which we look at the world, the thing we are looking at, the object, our observation, changes. Yeah. So by looking and by using a certain lens, the thing that we are looking at changes and will actually start matching the lens through which we are looking. So this is how we can actually, shift the entire external world. And in this case, of course, our partner, when you go and look at them from an assumption of like, they're great, they're perfectly capable, emotionally, mentally, whatever, physically, all of this. Wow, he's such an amazing, powerful man. He can do this, When you change that lens, then he will start actually living up to that, because You love him as he is, and at the same time, you're projecting this, wow, you're amazing. You know, it's the same with children, actually. You know, you tell a child that they're amazing. You tell them, oh, you could do anything in this world somehow. Maybe that's an American thing or so, but it's true, right? We have so much love. This is love also. Use that lens of love, use that lens of I see you in your greatness. And even, you know, when your partner is not showing up as that greatness yet, you know, give them time. Give them time to be that, and keep on changing the lens, keep on changing, you know, dropping also the old stories that you have about him. Very big one. Drop the stories, drop the stories. Okay. Waiting for him to fuck up. Yeah, that's an assumption. Even the lens on the masculine, like, oh, I should be feeling more, feeling things. And then related to that, when he is actually vulnerable, rejecting him, that can be very painful for a man. That when he then does come with his feelings, you know, you have an idea of how he should be dealing with them, feeling them, whatever, you reject him. And that's also, wow, very, very painful. It relates to, yeah, the fixing, the mothering happens, you know, when you're rejecting. When we are rejecting, you're rejecting your man and mothering your man, it's related to the fact that you cannot deal with the fact that he has certain emotions, that he has maybe stress. Yeah. You want to fix his emotions. You're controlling, you're managing, you're actually trying to get rid of the emotion, the sensation that your partner is having by mothering them. Yeah. I'll get back to that in a moment. There's impatience that you might have. That's also a way to disrespect, to mother your man. Inelegant no's. Like there's elegant no's also in sex. Yeah, I teach this. Previous episode, that I think number 28 is about that. And then there's inelegant no. Yeah, there's like plain rejection, very unelegant, very like brute. Yeah. You might be controlling him out of fear that he might leave you. This is a big one also. Think about that. Yeah. And then there's a shaming of his sexual desire. I'm not going to go too deep into the sexuality piece today. I spoke about this also in a previous episode. Yeah, shaming their sexual desire, shaming his turn on. And when he has been in a higher libido, and you know that's been the rhythm and the intensity with which he's coming through you, to you might be, you know, too much for you. And then you might be in this dynamic where you're shaming him, where he's like, oh, you know, he just wants sex, and oh my God, here we go again, here he comes again. And that's the art of, you know, dealing with different rhythms, dealing with the difference between men and women, dealing with the difference between libido. I speak about that on that previous episode. It's very important to understand that a man opens through his sexuality, women open, and the feminine opens through the heart. So we're just different, wired in different ways somehow. And again, this might apply, you know, to in your relationship, not related to your gender. So it might be that as a man you feel more connected to the feminine, to the heart, and as a woman you might feel that the sexuality piece, and you might feel more in the alpha experience. So one of the reasons let's take a breath. I know it's a lot. So I want to speak more about now why we do this, why this happens. And then also, of course, going more and deeper into how to shift all of these things. Like, why do women emasculate men? A big source on this, a beautiful source, is Alison Armstrong. You know, Alison Armstrong, she's, I don't know how old, in her 70s. She's a beautiful woman. She researched men for decades. And she says, you know, in her books, etc., she says, well, women, we look at a man and we think you are like me. And so when he doesn't act like me, he is misbehaving. So you look at your man like he's a misbehaving woman. So we see men as kind of women with hairy legs. And that is a source of emasculation, because we expect a man to be the same like us. And so when he is not doing things that in the way that we are doing them, you know, we think that he's not doing it right, he's misbehaving. And we connect that misbehavior to the fact that they're not loving us. If you would love me, you would act right. if you would respect me more, you would do this the right way. So, yeah, you don't love me enough, yeah. And so also what also this awakens is this feeling of like, oh, you must not do it the right way. And this is because I'm doing something wrong as a woman, so I need to change myself. So you get to feel the right way and you act the right way. And so if I would change, if I, I'm too much of this or I'm too little of that as a woman. So if I can change that, you would act and feel the right way. And so this is a big reason why Alison Armstrong says that, oh, we are doing this emasculation thing actually because of that hurt, and because of that those assumptions. And for man, it's different. When a man looks at a woman, he thinks like, oh wow, he sees the difference. He sees all the ways in which we are different, And so this is important to understand. This is what a thing that Alison Armstrong suggests, which is so beautiful, is that as women, we make a pact with ourselves to stop emasculating our men. We make that commitment. And listening to this episode, I invite you to make that commitment. I want to stop emasculating men. I want to stop seeing men as a problem, as misbehaving women, as misbehaving children also, actually, Like lay down the sword. Let's lay down the sword between men and women. Let's lay down the sword as women. Let's heal, of course, the deeper wounds that we have, the deeper frustrations and disappointments and pain that we have. That relates not only to the man that you're in a partnership right now, it relates to deeper feelings and childhood stuff. This is important to understand also. We are mothering our partners because we are feeling unmet in those moments, and it doesn't relate just to the fact that our man doesn't seem to be meet us in the moment itself. It's related to our deeper childhood pain. And actually, the solution to that is honoring our own pain and meeting our own pain ourselves instead of expecting our partner to meet it in this perfect way somehow. It's impossible. Our partners cannot hold our emotions for us. They're not here to save us. They're not here to deal with and heal the pain that we have from our father or from our mother. This goes in both directions. Yeah, men have their own, you have your own version of that. We see in our current partner, we see our mother, we see our father. Yeah, your partner is not your father. Your woman is not your mother. That's very important, this work, to do this. Yeah. And so a thing to ask as a woman is like, oh, these moments that you felt unmet, ask yourself, like, how am I expressing my emotions to my partner? Are you vomiting your emotions? I've been guilty of that. Are you vomiting your emotions on him? Are you expecting him to fix it? And when he cannot, or whatever he does, it's not good enough. Yeah, is that happening? Are you speaking like a spear, like you're really giving it to him in this kind of very narrow mental way? Yeah. And then, of course, he cannot hold that. Or, are you showing your heart? I'm getting to the moments of, or the ways to express yourself in a moment. But it's from your heart. Yeah, that's already giving you a pointer. It's vulnerability. It's the heart. That is the way out of these dynamics. And so why are we being the mother? Is because we want to get rid of the sensations and the emotions our partner is having. And when you are not, as long as you haven't met yourself in this deep way, as long as you're not, dealing and holding your own emotions deeply, deeply, deeply as a woman, when a man comes to you with his deep emotions, with his stress, of course, your partner will come to you with these things. You are going to not be able to hold this. You're going to go into a feeling of overwhelm. I recognize this. I used to have this with my previous partner. And you're going to want to fix it. So you're going to go in a mode of like, oh, this is too much. I cannot actually be and hold the feelings and sensations I am experiencing in my own nervous system as a result of him expressing himself. I need this to go away and I'm going to take care of it right away. So you're saying, I don't want you to bring this to me. Let me fix it on the subconscious level, unconscious level. And so instead of needing to take it away from him, just feel it's a sensation in his body, and he is able, as a grown adult man, he's not a little boy, he can feel this, meet this himself. You don't need to start fixing it. You don't need to become his mother. He can and is able to address and meet that himself. You don't need to take it away from him. What he needs is just being witnessed in that, having space to explore that. What he needs is your lens. Again, this filter, this lens of you've got this. You're a powerful, grown, sovereign man. You are capable of dealing with this. You're capable of finding your way through whatever life is bringing to you. So every time we're actually mothering, we're fixing, we're controlling, it actually comes from a selfish desire to get rid of the uncomfortable sensation that we're feeling in our own body. How crazy is that? Boom! Minds are being blown as you're listening. So again, how to move beyond? It's changing, standing and feeling your own little girl, holding the sensations that she's feeling. We all have inner children inside of us, men, women, very important. Yeah, holding ourselves and seeing him as a sovereign, masculine man, very capable, almost like seeing him like a warrior coming home from battle, and nourishing him from that space. You're not his mother, you are his lover. The only thing you need to be is a space, safe space for your man. And then he will feel like, oh, she doesn't need to fix me. She doesn't need to be in any different way. And she doesn't project this like pedestal kind of ideal of a man that I need to get to. Like I'm able, I'm loved exactly as I am. Yeah, this is a big one. I'm repeating certain elements, in this episode. You can hear that. And then by, you as a woman in that moment, and this again, when you're listening to this as a man, woman, you can send this episode to your man, also, yeah, and of course to your girlfriends. Just the only thing that our partners need beyond gender is we need to be listened to when we have, emotions. We need to not feel that we need to be fixed. We need to feel welcomed in our emotions. And so you don't need to do anything with that sensation, with his emotion, with his sensations. So that means that you are breathing and be calm. You're not controlling. You're just being in your soft body, in your soft heart. You don't need to fix it. You just be with him and you tell him, you've got this, you're doing great. You speak him in his power. You see, and you tell him in what way you're admiring him. Yeah, and that is actually being love without an agenda. In that moment, you're just there for him. And that, of course, as a woman, yeah, it might confront you with, your tendencies to want to do more, be more. What if you do not need to perform in that moment? Yeah. And the question might come like, okay, but what if my man is very comfortable in, being used to being in this position of being a boy a little bit? What if when I start telling him that he's capable of making decisions, of feeling this in whatever way, from a space of love, he might reject that. Yeah, he might find that difficult, the change, when you're not longer mothering him. So this might take some time, to shift that. And that might mean that you say no, that, you change, of course, the relationship and the dynamic by creating boundaries. I love you, and no, I cannot do this for you. I cannot take this decision for you. I believe in you. I'm here to help you grow. You can do this. And this will actually train him somehow into becoming used to, stepping up, basically, calling him into that love with a tone of love, yeah, not with a sharp dagger kind of tone, because then you're still mothering and then you're still in this superior position. No, you see him as this powerful man, And from that space, you call him into his greatness. So you set that boundary with an open heart. You bring that as an offering to his greatness, to your greatness. Yeah. And maybe he'll be triggered. Maybe he'll get pissed off or frustrated. Well, give him time to digest that. Also, give him space and time. You don't need to offer more words. Of course, you need to take care of your own nervous system. And you will give him time to digest that in his denser nervous system. Men have a denser nervous system. It takes them more time to digest and feel their emotions. Very important to understand that. This is, again, this assumption that women have, oh, you're not feeling. Well, it just takes more time. It has a different nervous system. Yeah. So the gift here is to stay true to yourself. To ask yourself, listening to this podcast, like, how am I feeding codependent patterns? How am I, by mothering, keeping us stuck together? Because it might feel safe to be in control. Yeah, it might feel safe to control life. We do that. And this, there's this controlling comes also from a feeling of unsafety. I think a lot of women don't think men or society realizes that, but there's a lot of scanning, in the environment, survival mechanisms, and there's a deep unsafety that women have in their bodies because of just what has happened in the history. And women are, in our patriarchal society, a lot of women, we have been harassed. We know that men are physically, are stronger than us, and could kill us, basically. Really, there's a survival thing still in our systems. And so dealing with that unsafety that you might feel in your body for whatever reasons, might be from this life, might be from previous lives, might be from your mother. Probably we all have stuff from our mothers, from our grandmothers, all of that. It's all in our system somehow. So that's our responsibility, to start healing this deep feeling of unsafety in ourselves, to start healing our trauma, basically, to really let our weapons fall, drop. Yeah, this is deep work. This is the deep healing work in a relationship, in couples, between men and women, that we're both called to do. Both called to do. Men, you're called to heal your inner boy, to become a man also. So that means that being true as a woman to yourself, is not, bending backwards to make him feel good, to accommodate. I recognize that I still do that. You don't do that. Mature man wants you to challenge him, even if you disagree with him, even if that's hard for him. And as a man, it's also accepting that we all have our oracles. We all have our ways of seeing and understanding things that are more intuitive as women. And I think these things are only now being accepted. Yeah. It's uncomfortable, always. That's why you're in a relationship, is to become each other's mirrors and to call each other out on things in the most loving way, and to become, greater people through that mirror. So in a moment, that your man comes home and he's frustrated and he doesn't feel good, you can ask him, hey, how do you want to be supported? How do you want to be loved by me? What would feel good to you right now? Yeah. So that's something very beautiful that you can ask him. And as a man, you can do exactly the same for your woman, of course. And so if he isn't lit up by something you do, don't freak out. Just try something else. Try things out. And in yourself, you're connected to your own inner child. You're also connected to, the bigger love as women, becoming more whole. This is what I teach, what I practice. It's like, and this is where we are moving from codependent patterns into conscious, what I call third stage relationship. By the way, these are all things that I teach in Unstoppable Lovers program that has still doors open, until Sunday. Depending on when you're listening to this, you can check whether the doors are open. And if you want support, as a couple, as a woman, as a man, individually, you can reach out, because this is my work, But of course, in Unstoppable Lovers, I'm going to give you all the tools to move beyond all of this stuff. Yeah. And so we need to be connected to our own source of love. And it's our individual love, and it's also universal love. You can call it God, divine love, whatever you want to call it, doesn't matter. But a feeling that your partner is no longer the only source of validating you, giving you love. This is codependency. This is how most people are in relationships. This is why we are mothering all of that. Yeah. And so coming into wholeness, inner wholeness, your inner union between the alpha and the omega, the Shiva and Shakti, as they say in Tantra and Yoga, the feminine and the masculine. And so that means that you become your own, actually, attachment figure. You become your own best mother. You become your own best father. You become your own best lover. You become your own best friend. Yeah, this is so important. This is what we all need to practice, this inner wholeness. And that shifts the way that we show up in our relationship. Yeah. So it's less about, oh, I need this from you. I need this validation from you, please. And you need to be perfect. And if you don't, then I'm mothering you, I'm controlling you. Yeah. No, you're holding yourself. You're loving yourself. And by doing that, you're also capable, of course, teaching your partner how to love you better. Yeah, we need to teach our partners how to love each other. Your partner cannot read your mind. You ask the question, how do you want to be loved by me? You tell them, hey, this is what would feel incredibly good right now. Give them all the tools, give them the highest success rate by expressing what you want, what you need, by asking questions. Ask him, ask them. Yeah, so there's this freedom for love to flow that comes from all of this. Yeah, so take care of yourself. You acknowledge him as a human, you appreciate him and you see them, again, the lens changes, you see them, all the ways that he's showing up as a man, acknowledgement of who he is as a human, what he's already doing, what he's already serving, and how he's serving you, maybe your family, appreciate that. Little things. Thank you, thank you, thank you for. Thank you for doing this, for doing this, for doing this. I really appreciate it when, speak these things, the emotional things, the physical things, all the ways. Yeah. And not, mothering him, trying to fix him is not, talking so much, being uncomfortable with sensations or emotions. When he comes home, give him space to breathe. Men need freedom-driven beings. We are love-driven beings as the feminine, and men are freedom-driven beings. And of course, we have both inside of ourselves. Yeah, I need a lot of freedom as a woman too. But let him come to you in his own time. Let him be human. Let him make mistakes. So so that he feels, oh, she's letting me know so gracefully. Also, it's not like you cannot tell him that when he, I don't know, something he did hurt you, that you cannot let him know. Of course not. You're true to yourself. You're speaking your mind. You're speaking your heart more than your mind, actually. You let him know gracefully and lovingly. And you show him the pain, not to blame. So you don't make him responsible for it. You just say, hey, I feel hurt because this is a big tip. I feel hurt because I feel sad because I. Let him know and connect it to your own experience. And then he will feel like, wow, she's letting me know so gracefully. I'm going to try again, I want to be better. This is a way that you inspire your partner to grow and to do better. See the shift. Can you feel that? Can you feel how the solution is going in your heart, practicing this vulnerability, and showing yourself. It's not about not showing your heart. You need to show your heart. That's the feminine, the deep feeling that we do. But we do this from a space of, oh, we take care of ourselves, instead of, oh, I need you. I'm the victim and it's your fault. That's very different. And when you are in your vulnerability, you will awaken his consciousness. You will awaken his alpha, caring, wanting to provide, wanting to take care of you, man. Really. So be authentic. Be authentic in your expression. The moment that you are covering up your vulnerability, You become manipulative. In very subtle ways, this can happen. You're covering something up. You become the victim, he becomes the perpetrator. And your partner can feel it as soon as you come from a more mental space, soon as you come from a blaming space. He can feel that. He can feel it when you have your weapons sharpened and ready to go, to attack him before you're even approaching him. And then he will, go into his stress response. He will be like, okay, I'm not here for that. Whatever way he's dealing with that, closing off, disappearing, fighting back, So it's all about dropping your weapons, your internal posture of defense, attack, and then you go into your heart. You deal with your own unresolved trauma, all the pain that you might still have relating to your childhood. This is, because you have inner little girl that, wasn't met when she was young, and she needs you. She needs you. All right? So when you're feeling, this is the thing, women feel that they're too much. It's because you're feeling you're too much for yourself, my love. Yeah. This is the thing. When you think, oh, I'm too much for him, it's because inside, this is what you're feeling. You're having your inner hidden undercurrent of, this is too much, I need this to go away, this cannot be felt, I need to fix this now. And then you project that on him, and this is, of course, how we will experience you then, because of your inner union that is not there, your inner landscape is not, is feeling that, right? So how do you make it safe for him to feel you? How do you, inspire him to become, the amazing man to hold you? How can you inspire his leadership? Is to allow him to feel you, as I said. You're offering your vulnerability as an invitation, not as an attack, not as a weapon. Right? So that means you drop the assumption that he cannot handle you or that he doesn't have space for you, right? A mature man will, of course, understand that when you come with deep emotions, he will understand, oh, she just wants me to witness her. And a mature man, and this is what will happen, and this is what we practice in the program, all of that, will feel like, oh, thank you, I get to deepen my consciousness, my integrity, I get to deepen into my calmness, into my capacity to hold you. By you bringing me your vulnerable heart and your feelings, I get to practice being this strong, powerful man, actually. The chaos that you experience and the chaos that you bring through your vulnerable heart will allow him to connect to his own power, basically. So that means that in that moment, you express more energetically. A lot of this stuff is more energetic than through words. It's like, I bring this from love. I don't need anything from you. Sorry. Yeah. So important thing. A lot of man. Yeah, this is really important, actually. In his nervous system, when he's had a mother rather, that was very emotional and that was incapable of dealing with her own emotions, strong emotions, he might think and feel, oh, I need to save her. I need to shapeshift for her. Whenever a woman becomes emotional, and that relates to his mother being very emotional and incapable of dealing with her own emotions. And so it goes into a state of overwhelm. So become curious about that. So that might be the learning curve. Yeah, that might be the learning curve for him, of course. Both of you will have big, big, big learning curves. This is the emotional maturity, the healing of childhood stuff, is for him to, understand, oh, she's not my mother. For him to understand, oh, I'm responding like this because of my mother. Yeah, so there's gold here. There's literal gold in this understanding, in this curiosity, in this, seeing, oh, why am I responding? Oh, this way, this relates to my father, my mother. And this will really deepen your love. Yeah, so it all relates to training your nervous system. Training your nervous system to hold, to feel more. That's it. This is, if you want to, remember one thing of this episode, it's like the biggest growth that we can experience. And the biggest invitation is to train how to feel more, to feel your own emotions, to regulate your nervous system, to be able to come back to the state of calm whenever life is throwing curveballs at you, whenever you're feeling, uncomfortable things, stress. Yeah. That means being able to breathe, being able to be in your body. I'm teaching all of the stuff, by the way, in module 2 of Unstoppable Lovers. Yeah. And by being able to train yourself to be with challenging emotions, your own and your partner's, you also open for the beauty of life. It's same. The more space there is for your emotions, the more space there is for your orgasms. This is what one of my amazing teacher, London Winters, says. Yeah, it is so true. So receiving the challenges of life, receiving your emotions in your body as sensations, and seeing them as the most important thing to feel and to be with right now, as the most important information, data on this planet. That's how my other teacher, Annie Lalas, expresses it. Yeah. This is the biggest thing you can do for your partner, is to become better at regulating your nervous system. This is module 2 of Unstoppable Lovers. Yeah. Haha. Almost there, guys. Oh, it's the end. I want to end this episode by speaking on trust. As I said, trusting your man is the biggest gift. Yeah, the mothering controlling comes from a lack of trust. Trusting yourself also, yeah? Because that's the thing. Trusting your man starts with trusting yourself. Ask yourself, what am I trustworthy for? Ask yourself that. What am I not trusting inside of myself? And the origin of distrust towards the outside, towards your man, relates to you don't trust yourself, or you're not justified in trusting life. So it can be very existential. So you need to learn what trust is. You need to learn how to surrender to life fully. This is the point of life, is learning, surrender little by little. It doesn't mean that you blindly trust, yeah? Because that is a masquerade, you cannot fake surrender. You cannot fake trust. You do it as a practice. As I trust, as an embodied principle, as inviting your body into feeling that. That means trusting this moment. Can I meet this moment with myself? Can I trust myself completely? Can I feel myself? Can I feel this emotion? Can I trust love? Can I trust life? Can I trusting love and letting the rest take care of itself? Can I feel how when I trust life and love, the rest takes care of itself? Can I trust that when I love my partner and I don't need to control, life takes care of it, and he can take care of it too? Yeah, it's deep stuff. Yeah, where do you feel that? How do you know it? How can you remember to rely upon it? So feel that. I trust, a grounded trust in your body. I trust this current of life. I trust love beyond him, beyond your relationship. This is more universal. This is more godly. This is more divine. The relationship with yourself, the relationship with the universe. And so when you come into this relationship of trust with yourself and with life, when you say and speak to your partner, you say this from a space of transmission of love, because you have met yourself in this deep way, because there will be no more reactivity or distrust, right? And even if you're afraid of being vulnerable, be that and feel that vulnerability inside of yourself. You're holding yourself. And then your emotions will not sound like an attack anymore. Then they will be just an invitation to love you deeply. Yeah, that will inspire your alpha, your man, to love you. And this is how we alchemize emotions to the gift that they are. Yeah, wow. Amazing. Take a deep breath. Yeah, I hope this is transforming something deep inside of you. Listen again, take notes, reach out, And my love, if you are in a relationship, you want to go deeper, come inside Unstoppable Lovers. This is the relationship transformation, the most delicious, beautiful investment in your love. You will receive guidance during 14 weeks from me, from also guest teacher Keith. We'll be doing work together, of course, and also women and men will be doing work separately. This is what makes this program so powerful. That means that men, you will feel in brotherhood a space to be a man and to be supported as men. And same for the women here. I will guide you deeper into this surrender, into this letting go, into this dropping your weapons. The point of Unstoppable Lovers is really this sacred union between men and women, to understand that we're healing centuries of pain, and that expresses somehow in your daily life, somehow, yeah, it can be in subtle ways. And we want to live a love with erotic ecstasy. I will guide you there step by step. You will receive practices, live classes, lectures, like all the ways, all the things that you need to love deeper, to have delicious love making, even when there's been, libido mismatch and there's been issues or blockages in your sexuality. And also, if you don't have issues in your relationship right now, it's such an amazing way to up level wherever you're at right now. If you want more depth, more soul connection, more sacred love making, more energy and full body orgasms, all the things are there. So wherever you're at in your relationship right now, Unstoppable Lovers will get you poof into, well, imagine your relationship 10% more love, 15% more love, 20% more love, 20% more pleasure, 20% more connection. Yeah, imagine that. Let yourself sit with that. Talk about it. Say to your partner, hey, Unstoppable Lovers, there's this thing happening. It's starting next week. Shall we join? What could it feel like to really work on our relationship, to be guided in that, to invest in that? How beautiful could that be? How would it change your parenting, your job, your day-to-day life? How would it change your daily interaction? It's really about, your mundane life becoming more sparkly, more magical, more loving, more joyful, more playful. That's what we're here to live on this planet. Yeah, that's what you're here to live in your relationship. This is what Unstoppable Lovers offers to you. So have the conversation about, wow, what if we could say yes to this? You can go to the link that is in the show notes. Check it out. Send me any questions you have via DM on Instagram, or just write me an email, hi@lynns.com. Just reach out. The doors close on Sunday officially. We start our first call is on Monday evening, but all calls are available in replay, are recorded. So everything is accessible in replay as recordings. You can do the thing whenever you want, and you have lifetime access. So that means that you really receive a toolbox for your life. Yeah, really, literally. This is the investment and the tools and the practices that you can repeat over and over and over again. And lastly, you have a money back guarantee, which allows you really to step in and to say, like, oh, what if after a month of participating, of course, you need to give it a real shot. Yeah, that's important. That's a condition. You say, like, hey, Lynn, it's not for us. You get that money back. Yeah. And lastly, also, actually, you can choose to join for module 1 only, to dip in your toes, to start with that. Or you can, of course, which I recommend, join the entire 4 modules, the entire journey. It's going to be so beautiful. Have the conversation, invite your partner, talk about it. It's going to be amazing. I send you so much love. Yeah. Again, reach out. I'm here for you. I love receiving messages. I love feeling you. I love listening how this episode impacted you. Also, if you desire one-on-one coaching, reach out. Yeah, just reach out. This is my purpose. This is what I can help you with. This is what I'm here to do in this life. Yeah, send you so much love. Bye, darlings.